you cannot give this vaccine in any case. This is impossible. How can you collaborate with such a heinous crime, the murdering of a child, even if one child only was murdered? And this child was murdered cruelly, abortion. And then, because of this cruel murder of an innocent child, this is the only case that there was then after developed this vaccine, even if it's remoted. So your participation, it is even technically material cooperation, but in this case, even if it is evil, also this cooperation, even it is material, it is evil, because in some way you are entering these horrible concatenations which started with a crime, a heinous crime. And this is incomparable with all other so-called cooperations in which we are living, or it is incomparable with all other cases of so-called benefiting from some bad actions. This is proportionally impossible. This is so an extraordinary, monstrous crime. And in the context in which we live, of a everyday increasing abortion industry and an everyday increasing technology of fatal technology, which is ultimately a kind of cannibalism. This is cannibalism. Lastly, we have to say the things by their name. We have not to make an euphemisms. This is cannibalism, ultimately. And when your conscience says to you, this is bad, you cannot follow against your conscience. You have to be ready to lose all earthly things rather than to commit something against your conscience. As St. Thomas More showed us, he was ready to lose all, his job to be Lord Chancellor, his reputation, his friends, his family, his life. Thomas More, because his conscience said, I cannot do the oath of succession, which was not directly issue of faith, but it was implicitly, of course, touching the truth of the matrimony, the marriage. As an example, the oath of succession. He had to recognize that the children of Henry VIII with Anne Boleyn were legitimate. And so he has to recognize this was a legitimate marriage, but it was not. It was adultery. And so he implicitly died also, St. Thomas, for defense of the holiness of marriage, for example. And so we have to follow, even to go to prison. We cannot do this. This is this vaccine. This is a very grievous would-be omission of the Christians not to stand up and to protest against this. We have not to, in any case, not the slightest shadow in this case, because this is more direct. People say, yes, you pay the taxes, and then in some governments, some countries take a part of the taxes and finance the abortion. This is not comparable, please. This is a different case, because in this case of taxes, it's a kind of theft, because the government is stealing my money, stealing, ultimately, because I am against that my money should be given for this but this is general taxes. So, but when I'm concretely facing the issue of abortion, then I have to decide myself. I can decide. I said, no, I will not give. When the government will come to me and so on, and I will confront directly and personally the issue of abortion, and they say, please give me your money that we finance these concrete abortion. I will say, no, I will not give. I will go. I will die. I will go to the prison. I will not give you money. And so the same, when I am in front confronting the abortion through vaccine, concretely, personally, I said, no, in this case, I will not accept this, because I am now entering a personal, more direct, even it is material, but more direct cooperation. This is evil. This is against my Christian witness, in this concrete, personal, individual confrontation with the abortion. It's different as logically with the paying of taxes. You cannot compare this and put this on the same level. It's not logical. Another case, in the first centuries, the Christians had to pay taxes for the Roman Empire. Even our Lord Jesus Christ said, we give to the Caesar the tax, the money. But the Christians, the apostles had known that the Roman government used from the general taxes also money to finance the idolatry worship in the temples. So, but it was not the apostles and the first Christians, they did not cooperate even with the idolatry worship when they paid the taxes. But when the government came individually to every Christian and said, now you have to collaborate with idolatry. Please put this grain of incense here before this statue. Then they said, no, we cannot do, we will die. We will not do this. You see, this is the difference of paying taxes in general and concretely confront yourself with this evil. And the same is with the vaccine, abortion-tainted vaccine. This is the same. We cannot, this is a kind of putting the grain of incense here. Even the vaccine, which is using not the cells, but only the testing, they were only using for the testing. It is ultimately the same. I would compare this, the vaccine which contains directly the cell lines. It is a full grain of incense for the idol to put, and the vaccines which do not contain the cell lines, but which used the cell lines for the testing only, it is the half of the grain of incense. So you put a half grain, but it's still idolatry worship. It's still a personal link, individual personal link with this evil. In this case with idolatry, in this case with the abortion.